Good evening, students. Today we are going to see about the nationalism in India. So this nationalism, the word nationalism, you know the meaning, the oneness, the feeling of oneness among the people living in a territory. So that is called the nationalism, or we can say it as patriotism. So nationalism is the feeling of oneness, or we can say the liking for the nation, for our country. So that we can call it as nationalism. So here we are going to speak about nationalism in India. In that the first subtopic is First World War. You know very well. The First World War broke out in 1914 and it was there till 1918, nearly 4 years. So there were 4 years. How this made to grow our nationalism in India. That is the next topic we are going to see. So there, due to this British have involved in the war, they made the war expenditure and there was an income tax was introduced. The custom duties were raised. So this was the first thing. So the prices of the essential goods were doubled. Due to the war, everything was doubled. So the prices of the essential, that is the basic needs goods, were doubled during the war period. So the forced recruitment was also made. You know what is the meaning of forced recruitment? That means we are forcing the people to involve in the war. So there is no one here to cultivate our primary sector or the secondary. So the agriculture is going down. So the crop failures resulted in a shortage of food materials and there was the spread of diseases in many parts of India. So the millions of people, they have lost their lives. I hope you can understand, my dear students. So we are talking about the nationalism in India. In that nationalism, we are here to say about how the war had made a growth in nationalism. That is the thing we are seeing here. Then after this, the idea of Satyagraha came. So you know very well about the Gandhian Satyagraha. So when he came back to India in 1915 after returning from South Africa, he introduced a powerful, that is Mahatma Gandhi introduced a powerful method of struggle that is called Satyagraha. So you know very well what do you mean by Satyagraha. In the lower classes also we have learnt this Satyagraha. Satyagraha is nothing but the power of truth. It literally means the holding the truth. Okay, and following the non-violent movement. So we are under, according to Gandhiji's principle, those who are following the Satyagraha, they are called Satyagrahis. They have to follow the non-violence and we have to fight the injustice in a non-violent way. So we have to make the opponent conscious about what we are doing and how we are against them. So that should not be in a physical force, that should be in a silent force. So they are not even, we have to mention the name force, but you have to follow the non-violence. That's what he is saying in this. What is idea of Satyagraha? Satyagraha literally means holding on the truth or only the truth force. It was a non-violent struggle introduced by Gandhi in the Indian national movement. So he wants the opponent to understand the truth not by implying the violent force, but by following the non-violent. If the cause was true and if the fight was against injustice, then the physical force was not necessary. His main idea is, if your cause is true and you are fighting against the unfair means, that is injustice, then there is no need of any physical force and everyone has to follow the non-violent Satyagrahi principle. Hunger strike, peaceful demonstration, hostile and non-cooperation with the government or methods of Satyagraha. So this is the main idea of Satyagraha in nationalism in India. So the first three Satyagraha movements were organized in Champran, Kheda and Ahmedabad. Champran movement in 1960. It is for the indigo plantation of Champran district of Bihar. The Gandhiji was protesting against that. It was against the oppressive plantation system. And the next one is 1917. It is the Kheda movement. It is the crop failure and the plague epidemic made the life of the farmers miserable in the Kheda district of Gujarat. So he wanted the movement to be in the Kheda. So he was a leader there and he demanded in the reduction of land revenue. So the Kheda is mainly for the reduction of land revenue. Whereas the mill workers movement, low wages and the poor working conditions forced the mill workers of Ahmedabad to start a movement under the Gandhiji's leadership in 1918. So there Ahmedabad is for the low wages, whereas the Kheda movement is for the reduction in the land revenue. And for the Champran, the indigo plantation, it was against the plantation workers were against the British. So the Gandhiji was also protesting against the British. So these were the three movements which was organized by the Gandhi, and they followed the Satyagraha year. And around in the year 1916, 1917 and 1918. In 1916, they were in the Champran districts of Bihar, and in the 1917, they were in the Kheda district, and in the 1918, Gandhiji were there in Ahmedabad. Three different places following for plantation movements, reduction in land revenue, and poor working conditions in the mill. So these were the three movements which was organized by Satyagraha, that is Gandhiji. So these three things we have to understand first. Once again, I am going from the beginning. We have to know about what do you mean by nationalism. It is a feeling of oneness among the people living in a territory, or we can say it very well, it is a patriotic feeling, or we can say it is a liking for our nation. Next, how did the First World War help in the growth of nationalism in India? Why? Because we need all the basic essential goods were developed. Forced recruitment was made in the British Indian Army. The crop were failure, shortage of food materials, and many parts the diseases were spreading, and there was a forced recruitment. So these are all the things, factors which help in the growth of nationalism in India. There came a Gandhian principle, Satyagraha. He came from South Africa during the year 1915. He introduced a powerful method of struggle called Satyagraha. So you know, Satyagraha is nothing but dharma. For the people who are following the dharma or the policies of Gandhi, they are called as Satyagrahis. They don't want to be violent. They want to follow the non-violent way, because according to Gandhiji, if your cause or if you are fighting against the injustice and if your cause is true and there is no physical force needed, that is his own principles. And these peaceful demonstration, hartal, hunger strike, and the non-cooperation with the government are some of the methods of Satyagraha. And he organized the Satyagraha in these districts. One is Champran, Bihar, Kheda, Gujarat, and in Ahmedabad. So these are all the Satyagraha movement where he organized. In Champran for the plantation system, and in Kheda for the land revenue system, and in the mill workers against the low wages and the poor working conditions of the people in the mill. So for these three things, he organized the movement of Satyagraha in Champran, Kheda, and Ahmedabad. So the next topic we are going to see is about the Rowlatt Act. So this act, we have to know when something has been raised. So this lesson is fully between India versus British. So when India has started some movement, automatically the British has to react to that. So that is called as Rowlatt Act, which was organized around the year 1919. So here already our Indian political prisoners are there in the prison. They have to sustain there in the prison for another 2 years without any trial. So that is called the Rowlatt Act. It was given by the legislature member or members of council, and they have immediately implemented this in order to curb the movements of Gandhi. So that is the main thing, and they wanted to prison, they wanted to jail all those political and the national workers of India. So they implemented this act immediately. So it was given by the British government the power to imprison any person without any trial for another period of 2 years. So that is called detention of political prisoners, or here the political prisoners are Indian people. So the Indian people are detained, they are detentioned in the prison for without any trial for the further 2 years. So that is the main meaning of the Rowlatt Act. So there were many hurtles against it, and the Gandhiji was barred from entering Delhi here, and there was a lot of protest was broken out with this Rowlatt Act, which was proposed during the year 1919. Can you able to understand, dears? So that's what they have given you. Write a short note on the Rowlatt Act. How we have to write. So Gandhiji organized a non-violent satyagraha against the Rowlatt Act. A hartal was organized on the 6th April 1919. Hartal means a great protest. Rallies were conducted, shops were closed down, workers conducted strike, transport and communication system came to still. So everything, there was a big strike, every shops were closed down, transport and communication system came to a big still. So the whole economic side is drastically came down. So these protests led to the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So one is related to another one. When there is a great thing given by Gandhiji like Satyagraha, it was scrubbed by giving the Rowlatt Act. And again, these people was against this Rowlatt Act. So the British wants to react to that. There came the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. So this Jallianwala Bagh massacre, what do you mean by massacre? Means mass killing, my dear students. Massacre is nothing but it's a mass killing. So on 13th April 1919, a public meeting was organized in the Jallianwala Bagh, which was situated in Amritsar, to protest against the arrest of national leaders. That is, by the Rowlatt Act, they have detained all the political prisoners, that is the Indian political prisoners, for another 2 years without any trial. So this was against the British. So there was a big hartal. Many villages were attending the fair. So that is called as Baishakhi fair. The innocent people, they don't know what is going to happen. So, excuse me. So the General Dyer reached the meeting place and he gave the order for the troops to fire. So the firing lasted for nearly 10 minutes without any non-stop firing. So there is a non-stop, without any stopping. There is a non-stop firing for continuous 10 minutes. And the whole Jallianwala Bagh was in a complete massacre. There was a mass killing by the order given by General Dyer, where the innocent people were completely killed by the troops. So more than 1,000 people were killed and many were wounded. This incident is called as a Jallianwala Bagh incident. So it was it was described as in an Indian history inhuman act of British. So according to this Jallianwala Bagh, they treated the Indians very harshly. All the Hindus and Muslims were treated very harshly. This led to the big mass movement after the Khilafat movement. It was a movement organized. This Khilafat movement was organized by Muhammad Ali and Shahut Ali. They both are called as Ali brothers. Okay, so the aim of this movement was to protest against the injustice done to Turkey by British. So the British had promised them to give supreme status, okay, after the First World War, but it cheated the Turkey. So the Turkish Sultan had the title of Khalifa we can say. The Muslims considered him as their spiritual leader, this Khalifa. So in order to save this Khalifa, they went and met Gandhiji. So Gandhiji saw this as an opportunity to bring Muslims and Hindus under one umbrella of an unified national movement. So these Ali brothers, they wanted even Hindus to join their movement. So the Gandhiji thought that it was going to be a big mass movement and automatically he agreed to join, and totally they were unified as a national movement. So at the Calcutta session of Congress in September 1920, he convinced other leaders to need, so at last they wanted to start the non-cooperation movement in the support of Khilafat as well as for Swaraj. Swaraj here means freedom. By supporting the Khilafat movement, here Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement in September 1920 at Calcutta session. So many Muslims joined this movement. So far we have seen, my dear students, what do you mean by Satyagraha? What is Rowlatt Act? What is Jallianwala Bagh? And what is Khilafat? I hope you can understand this. So there are 4 subtopics we have seen now. Just we will stop with this and we will continue in the next class. Thank you, dears.